Ethan and Kate had been stationed on the Deep Space Biological Research Platform for nearly 8 months, long enough for the silence of orbit to feel normal. The station floated above a quiet mineral-rich planet that glowed pale blue and gray beneath them, covered in vast rocky fields and frozen lakes that never seemed to change. It was not a world meant for humans to live on. It was a world meant to be observed. Their job was simple in description but delicate in practice. They studied living creatures collected from many worlds, especially those classified as non-sapient or low intelligence. Earth species were part of the collection as well, brought carefully through long transport cycles. Most were small animals, kept in controlled habitats designed to match their natural environments. Everything was monitored. Everything was recorded. Nothing was supposed to go wrong. Ethan worked mostly with containment systems. He made sure every habitat was secure, every seal tight, every sensor accurate. He had a calm way of moving, slow and careful, as if sudden actions might disturb the balance of the station itself. Kate worked more with observation and behavioral tracking. She watched patterns, recorded reactions, and tried to understand how different lifeforms responded to stress, light, sound, and presence. They were not alone in their research. A visiting specialist had arrived 3 days earlier. The being was from the Zelnari species, a well-known interstellar civilization that studied biological systems across many planets. The Zelnari were respected for their precision and emotional control. The one assigned to the station was an animal doctor, trained to examine physiology and behavior without disturbing natural responses. The doctor did not respond immediately. He continued watching. Inside the enclosure, one of the cats, a small gray one with white paws, was resting on a raised platform. Another was grooming itself near a warm light panel. The third was near the feeding station, slowly watching the others. Everything appeared calm. Then something small changed. A maintenance drone passed near the outer ventilation grid. It made a soft mechanical hum, barely noticeable to humans. But the gray cat reacted instantly. Its ears shifted. Its body lowered. Its eyes locked onto the source of the sound. Kate frowned slightly. It's reacting to the drone again. It does that sometimes. Ethan stepped closer to the control panel. Maybe it doesn't like mechanical noise. The doctor remained still. It is not fear alone, he said. It is calculation. Before anyone could respond, the gray cat moved. It did not run in panic. It did not hesitate. It simply launched itself upward, using the platform and wall supports in a sequence of fast, precise movements. In less than a second, it reached the upper containment edge near a maintenance access point that had just been opened for inspection. Ethan's eyes widened. Wait, how did it? The cat slipped through a narrow gap that should not have allowed passage. A micro-adjustment in the ceiling frame had not fully locked. It was a mistake no one had noticed. Alarms did not trigger immediately because the system had not recognized the movement as a breach. It was too fast, too small, too unexpected. The cat entered the outer maintenance space. And that was where the Zelnari doctor stood. For a brief moment, everything seemed frozen. The doctor turned slightly, noticing movement behind him. The cat landed lightly on the metal surface, crouched, and then immediately reacted to the unfamiliar figure. It's okay, Kate said softly, not sure if she was speaking to the cat or the situation itself. The gray cat backed up slightly, tail low, ears alert. It did not run. It watched. Ethan moved between the cat and the doctor without making sudden gestures. He slowly crouched and extended his arm in a calm, familiar motion. Hey, he said quietly. It's all right. The cat did not approach immediately. Its body remained tense, calculating escape routes, assessing distance, reading motion. Behind Ethan, the Zelnari doctor remained still. He was not injured in a serious way, only surprised. His facial sensors showed slight surface disturbance, but no damage. Kate checked his status. You okay? The doctor paused before responding. Unexpected contact event, he said finally. No critical harm detected. Ethan carefully reached the cat. After a moment of hesitation, the animal allowed itself to be gently lifted. It did not resist, but it did not fully relax either. The emergency locks engaged, sealing the maintenance area. The station returned to controlled mode. Kate exhaled slowly. That could have gone worse. Ethan nodded, holding the cat securely but gently. Yeah, it really could have. The Zelnari doctor looked at the animal with a focused, unreadable expression. He did not seem angry or afraid. Instead, he seemed deeply interested, as if something about the moment did not match his expectations. That reaction, he said slowly, was not random. Kate glanced at him. What do you mean? The doctor's head tilted slightly again. It responded to me as a threat. Instantly. Without prior exposure. Ethan looked down at the cat in his arms. It had stopped struggling now, but its eyes were still sharp, still watching everything carefully. Kate spoke quietly. Cats are like that. They decide fast. The doctor did not reply immediately. He kept watching. And in that silence, something subtle changed in how he observed the creature. Not as a simple animal anymore, but as something that had acted with purpose far more precise than expected. No one said it out loud, but the moment stayed with them. Something about the incident did not feel like an accident anymore. The station had returned to normal operations, but no one really felt normal after the incident. The gray cat had been returned to its enclosure, though the atmosphere around it felt different now. Even the other cats seemed quieter, as if they had sensed something unusual had happened. The Zelnari doctor had been checked by station medical systems and confirmed to be unharmed. His body had absorbed the impact without damage, and his suit had only recorded a brief spike in physical contact stress. Still, he did not immediately return to routine observation. Instead, he requested a full diagnostic review of the event. Ethan and Kate allowed it, though Ethan stayed nearby as a precaution. Kate monitored the enclosure, while Liam and Sarah joined them from the data station. Liam handled most of the system analysis, while Sarah worked through behavioral mapping. The doctor stood in front of a large transparent display panel. His posture was still, but his attention was sharp. The gray cat sat inside its habitat, now calm again, sitting near a warm light panel. Its tail moved slowly, back and forth, as it watched the humans and the alien observer without blinking much. Begin full scan playback, the doctor said. Liam activated the recording. The incident replayed in slow detail. The cat's movement through the enclosure, the breach, the leap into the maintenance area, and the brief impact with the doctor were all shown step by step. Multiple sensor angles displayed the event from different perspectives. Sarah leaned forward slightly. It really moved fast, she said. Faster than the system predicted. Ethan crossed his arms. It's a cat. They're fast when they want to be. The doctor did not respond immediately. His attention was fixed on the data streams flowing beside the visual replay. Biological readings, motion tracking, neural response estimates, all layered together in complex patterns. Ethan crossed his arms. It's a cat. They're fast when they want to be. The doctor did not respond immediately. His attention was fixed on the data streams flowing beside the visual replay. Biological readings, motion tracking, neural response estimates, all layered together in complex patterns. Then he spoke. This does not match expected behavioral output, he said. Liam glanced at him. What part? All of it, the doctor replied. The room grew quiet. He stepped closer to the display. His hand moved slightly, and the interface expanded the cat's physiological data. Heart rate, muscle response, sensory input activity, hormonal shifts, all displayed in real time and during the incident window. Sarah frowned. It's just stress response. High adrenaline, maybe fear. The doctor tilted his head. No, he said calmly. Fear response would show instability. This shows structure. Ethan looked at the display more carefully. Structure. Yes, the doctor said. Adaptive sequencing. Reaction timing. I am saying, the doctor corrected, it evaluated options faster than expected for a non-sapient classification. Ethan shook his head slightly. It didn't plan anything. It just reacted. It probably got scared and jumped. The doctor did not argue. Instead, he switched to another dataset. Neural activity mapping appeared on the screen. The cat's brain patterns were shown as shifting clusters of activity. Most of it was normal for an animal under observation. But during the breach moment, the pattern changed. Not into chaos, but into structured spikes. Liam leaned closer. That's unusual. Sarah stepped back slightly. That shouldn't be possible for a simple domestic species. The cat inside the enclosure shifted its position slightly, now lying down but still watching the group. Its eyes moved between each person slowly, as if tracking conversation patterns. The doctor noticed this. It is aware of observation, he said. Ethan sighed. Most animals are aware when they're being watched. No, the doctor said. They are aware of presence. This is different. It tracks intent. A silence followed. Liam ran another analysis layer. We're getting adaptive response loops here, he said. It's not just reacting to stimuli. It's adjusting behavior based on repeated observation inputs. Liam leaned closer. That's unusual. Sarah stepped back slightly. That shouldn't be possible for a simple domestic species. The cat inside the enclosure shifted its position slightly, now lying down but still watching the group. Its eyes moved between each person slowly, as if tracking conversation patterns. The doctor noticed this. It is aware of observation, he said. Ethan sighed. Most animals are aware when they're being watched. No, the doctor said. They are aware of presence. This is different. It tracks intent. A silence followed. Liam ran another analysis layer. We're getting adaptive response loops here, he said. It's not just reacting to stimuli. It's adjusting behavior based on repeated observation inputs. Sarah frowned. Like learning? Yes, Liam said slowly. But not in a linear way. The doctor's eyes stayed fixed on the data. Show cross-species comparison. Liam hesitated, then complied. The system pulled data from other Earth mammals stored in the station database. Dogs, small rodents, birds, all displayed side by side with the cat's readings. The differences became clear. Most animals showed simple response chains: stimulus, reaction, recovery. Predictable loops. The cat showed branching response paths. Multiple potential reactions held at once, collapsing into one only at the final moment. Sarah spoke quietly. It's like it's holding choices. Ethan frowned. That's just overthinking the data. The doctor finally turned slightly toward them. No, he said. It is not overthinking. It is parallel evaluation. He paused, then added, that is rare. The room felt heavier after that. The gray cat yawned slowly inside its enclosure, then stretched its body and lay down again. It seemed almost uninterested in the analysis being conducted about it. But its eyes remained open. Always watching. Liam zoomed into another section of the scan. There's something else, he said. What? Sarah asked. Emotional mapping, Liam replied. He expanded the layer. Soft wave patterns appeared across the display, showing fluctuating emotional states during the incident. Ethan stepped closer. What does it show? Liam hesitated before answering. It's not stable. The doctor leaned in. Liam continued. It shifts too quickly. But not randomly. It responds to specific individuals in the room differently. Sarah looked confused. Like preferences? More like classification, Liam said. The doctor spoke quietly. Show individual response markers. The system isolated reactions to each person present during the incident. Ethan's marker showed neutral recognition. Kate's showed mild familiarity response. Liam and Sarah showed analytical tracking response. Then the doctor's marker appeared. It was different. The cat's emotional response spike during his presence was sharp, immediate, and highly focused. Ethan noticed it. It reacted strongest to him. The doctor nodded slowly. Yes. Sarah crossed her arms. That doesn't mean anything. It was startled. No, Liam said after a moment. The pattern repeats in micro-movements. It wasn't just the strike. It tracked him before contact. Silence returned again. The cat inside the enclosure slowly turned its head, now looking directly at the observation panel. The doctor did not move away from its gaze. For a long moment, neither of them broke eye contact. Then the doctor spoke softly. This is not in the database classification. Ethan rubbed his forehead. It's a cat. Maybe your database is just incomplete. The doctor did not answer immediately. He looked at the data again, then at the animal, then back to the data. Finally, he said, or the classification was never meant to include this level of adaptation. No one responded. The station felt suddenly smaller, as if the enclosure was not just holding an animal, but holding something that understood more than expected. The station slowly returned to its usual rhythm, but something subtle had changed in how people moved through it. Conversations were quieter near the animal observation wing, and even simple tasks felt like they were being done with a little more awareness than before. The gray cat's behavior was still being reviewed, and the alien doctor continued to observe it closely. Jack and Emily had been called in from another section of the station to help explain Earth animal behavior. Jack had worked with Earth species before, mostly in long-term behavioral studies. Emily had a background in comparative psychology, and she often tried to explain human-animal relationships in simple terms for non-Earth researchers. They stood in the observation room with Ethan, Kate, Liam, and Sarah. The Zelnari doctor remained near the main display, quietly reviewing updated interaction logs. Jack spoke first, trying to keep things simple. Cats on Earth are complicated, he said. They don't follow strict behavior patterns like some animals. They can be friendly one moment, and distant the next. Emily nodded. But that's normal for them. Humans accept it. Cats are seen as companions, not tools or predictable systems. The alien doctor listened carefully. His head tilted slightly as he processed the translation. Unpredictable behavior accepted as normal companionship, he repeated. Jack shrugged. Pretty much, yes. Emily added, they choose how they interact. They don't always respond the same way to every person. The doctor turned his attention to the display showing recorded interactions from the previous incident. Multiple data points showed the gray cat's behavior with different humans on the station. Anna had entered the enclosure earlier that day to deliver food and perform a routine check. The cat had approached her calmly, brushed against her leg, and shown no signs of stress. Ben, who had assisted with habitat cleaning, had also been allowed close contact without resistance. Ethan pointed at the screen. See? It's calm with familiar handlers. Kate crossed her arms. It trusts people it recognizes. But then the data shifted to interactions involving unfamiliar personnel, especially the Zelnari doctor and a few visiting technicians. The pattern changed completely. The cat's body language became tight and alert. It did not approach. It kept distance. Its eyes tracked movement constantly, and its posture stayed low and ready to react. Liam frowned as he studied the readings. It's not just avoidance, he said. It's active monitoring. Sarah leaned closer. Like it's evaluating risk. The alien doctor stepped forward slightly. Show comparative interaction overlay, he requested. The system complied. 2 sets of data appeared side by side. One showed interaction with Anna and Ben. The other showed interaction with unfamiliar personnel. The difference was clear. With Anna and Ben, the cat showed relaxed posture, slow blinking, and close physical proximity. Its heart rate remained stable, and its movement was smooth and unhurried. With unfamiliar personnel, especially the alien doctor, its physiological data showed sharp spikes in attention, increased muscle readiness, and fast scanning eye movements. Jack pointed at the screen. That's typical for cats. They bond with certain people and ignore or avoid others. Emily added, they build trust individually. It's not group-based like some social animals. The alien doctor watched silently for a moment. Then he spoke. This trust selection is not random, he said. Ethan nodded. No, it's based on familiarity and experience. Emily added, they build trust individually. It's not group-based like some social animals. The alien doctor watched silently for a moment. Then he spoke. This trust selection is not random, he said. Ethan nodded. No, it's based on familiarity and experience. The doctor continued. But the selection criteria appear more complex than familiarity alone. Liam looked at him. What do you mean? The doctor zoomed in on one specific interaction. It showed the cat approaching Anna slowly, pausing several times, then continuing forward without hesitation. The movement pattern showed micropauses that aligned with environmental scanning. He spoke again. It evaluates more than recognition. It evaluates stability of intent. Sarah frowned. Intent? Yes, the doctor said. Not just who you are. But what you represent in behavior. The room became quiet. Jack scratched his head. That sounds a bit too advanced for a cat. Emily gave a small smile. Or maybe humans underestimate how much animals read behavior. Ethan looked at the data again. It still doesn't explain why it reacted so strongly to the doctor. The alien doctor did not respond immediately. Instead, he replayed the interaction sequence again, focusing on the moment just before the strike incident. The cat had been calm in the enclosure until the doctor approached the maintenance access point. Its body language changed within seconds. Not slowly, not gradually, instantly. Kate noticed it too. It doesn't ease into reaction. It switches. Liam nodded. Like a threshold trigger. Sarah added, something crosses a line, and it just changes state. Jack leaned forward. That's still normal for cats. They can be sensitive to sudden movement or unfamiliar presence. Emily looked at the alien doctor. But maybe the difference is how fast they process it. The doctor paused. Speed alone does not explain structure. Emily added, they build trust individually. It's not group-based like some social animals. The alien doctor watched silently for a moment. Then he spoke. This trust selection is not random, he said. Ethan nodded. No, it's based on familiarity and experience. The doctor continued. But the selection criteria appear more complex than familiarity alone. Liam looked at him. What do you mean? The doctor zoomed in on one specific interaction. It showed the cat approaching Anna slowly, pausing several times, then continuing forward without hesitation. The movement pattern showed micropauses that aligned with environmental scanning. He spoke again. It evaluates more than recognition. It evaluates stability of intent. Sarah frowned. Intent? Yes, the doctor said. Not just who you are, but what you represent in behavior. The room became quiet. Jack scratched his head. That sounds a bit too advanced for a cat. Emily gave a small smile. Or maybe humans underestimate how much animals read behavior. Ethan looked at the data again. It still doesn't explain why it reacted so strongly to the doctor. The alien doctor did not respond immediately. Instead, he replayed the interaction sequence again, focusing on the moment just before the strike incident. The cat had been calm in the enclosure until the doctor approached the maintenance access point. Its body language changed within seconds. Not slowly, not gradually, instantly. Kate noticed it too. It doesn't ease into reaction. It switches. Liam nodded. Like a threshold trigger. Sarah added, something crosses a line, and it just changes state. Jack leaned forward. That's still normal for cats. They can be sensitive to sudden movement or unfamiliar presence. Emily looked at the alien doctor. But maybe the difference is how fast they process it. The doctor paused. Speed alone does not explain structure. Then he said, on my world, we classify behavior by predictability. If something is unpredictable, it is usually unstable or simple. He paused. This one is neither unstable nor simple. The room remained silent. The cat shifted slightly, opened its eyes, and looked directly toward the glass where they stood. For a brief moment, it seemed to make eye contact with each of them one by one. Then it closed its eyes again, as if the discussion no longer required its attention. Adam had been quiet for most of the day, working alone in the lower analysis bay of the station. The room around him was filled with soft light from floating screens, each showing different layers of biological data. He did not speak much unless needed, and when he did, it was usually to correct something small that others had missed. After the incident and the strange results from earlier scans, he had decided to run a deeper, more careful study of the gray cat. Not just its physical reactions, but the way it responded to everything around it over time. The cat was placed under extended observation mode. It was not disturbed. It was not handled. It was simply allowed to exist while every possible sensor tracked its behavior. Kate checked in on Adam once in a while, but she did not interrupt him. Ethan also passed by, but only briefly. Even Liam and Sarah avoided disturbing his workflow unless necessary. The alien doctor, however, stayed close. He watched Adam's progress silently, standing behind him with a still presence that made the room feel more focused. Adam finally spoke after several hours. I think I see something, he said. Kate stepped closer. What kind of something? Adam brought up a layered data model. It's not just reacting to individual events. It's responding to patterns across time. Liam frowned. Patterns like what? Emotional tone, Adam said. Movement consistency. Environmental pressure shifts. Sarah leaned in. You mean it notices how people feel? Adam nodded slowly. Not in words. In behavior signals. Voice tone changes. Body movement speed. Even how long someone stays near it. The alien doctor moved slightly closer to the screen. Adam continued. It builds a response map. Not just for individuals, but for types of interaction. Kate crossed her arms. So it learns people. Yes, Adam said. And it learns faster than expected. Ethan looked at the data. How fast? Adam hesitated. Faster than most known non-sapient species by a large margin. The room grew quiet again. The gray cat was resting in its enclosure, but the sensors showed it was still active internally. Its ears moved slightly now and then. Its eyes opened and closed slowly, not in sleep, but in light rest. Adam switched to another layer of analysis. "This is the interesting part," he said. The display changed. It showed repeated interaction cycles. Each time the cat encountered similar conditions, its response changed slightly. Not randomly, but in a controlled adjustment pattern. Liam narrowed his eyes. "That looks like adaptation." "It is adaptation," Adam confirmed. "But not just physical. Behavioral adaptation." Sarah asked, "Like learning from experience?" "Yes," Adam said. "But more structured. It remembers outcomes and adjusts future reactions based on emotional and environmental results." Kate looked at the screen carefully. "So if someone treats it calmly, it responds calmly?" Adam nodded. "And if someone shows uncertainty or sudden movement, it adjusts its behavior range accordingly." The alien doctor finally spoke. "This is not basic learning," he said. Adam shook his head. "No. It's layered learning. Multiple inputs processed at once." The doctor stepped closer to the display. "Show full cognitive response model." Adam complied. The screen shifted again. A complex network appeared, showing how sensory input, emotional detection, and environmental awareness all combined into decision pathways inside the cat's behavior system. Even Ethan, who was not deeply trained in data analysis, could see the difference now. It was not simple reaction. It was a system of choices being formed in real time. Sarah whispered, "That's advanced." Liam nodded slowly. "It's like it's constantly updating itself." Kate watched the cat through the glass panel. "And we thought it was just reacting to food and attention." The alien doctor did not look away from the data. "This level of adaptation suggests long-term coevolution with a complex species." Ethan frowned. "Humans?" The doctor paused. "Yes." A silence followed that word. Adam brought up another comparison. "When we compare this to wild Earth animals, even intelligent ones like dolphins or primates, the pattern is different." Liam asked, "How different?" Adam answered carefully. "Most species learn within their own survival needs. This one learns within social systems." Sarah tilted her head. "Social systems like human households?" Adam nodded. "Exactly." Kate looked thoughtful. "So it's not just surviving around humans. It's adjusting to them." The alien doctor added quietly, "It is integrating behavior into human systems." Ethan looked at him. "That sounds like you're saying it's part of the system." The doctor did not answer directly. Instead, he said, "It behaves as if human presence is not external to its environment, but part of its environment structure." Adam pointed at another section of data. "And this is where it gets even more interesting." The display zoomed into emotional response mapping again. "This shows that it responds differently depending on emotional tone," Adam said. "Not just loud or quiet, but intent behind the sound." Sarah frowned. "Intent?" "Yes," Adam said. "A calm voice with hidden stress produces a different reaction than a calm voice with genuine calmness." Kate blinked. "That's not simple hearing. That's interpretation." Adam nodded. "Yes. Interpretation of emotional signals." Liam leaned back slightly. "That means it's reading us." The alien doctor corrected him gently. "It is not reading language. It is reading behavior outputs." Ethan crossed his arms. "Still sounds like reading to me." Adam continued. "And over time, it builds trust maps. It categorizes individuals based on consistency." Kate looked at the cat again. "So Anna and Ben were marked as safe?" "Yes," Adam said. "And the alien doctor?" Ethan asked. Adam hesitated slightly. "Marked as unknown high variability." Sarah gave a small uneasy laugh. That sounds worse than unsafe. The alien doctor remained still, watching the data. After a long moment, he spoke. Cats are not simple companions, he said. They are adaptive observers within human systems. No one interrupted. He continued, they respond not only to environment, but to behavioral stability. They track consistency across time. Kate looked at him. So what does that mean? The doctor answered slowly. It means they are not controlled. A quiet pause filled the room. Then Kate said softly, we never controlled them. Ethan looked at her. What do you mean? Kate turned slightly, still looking at the cat. We just learned how to live with them. They adapted to us more than we adapted to them. No one spoke for a moment. The gray cat shifted in its enclosure, stretching slightly, then settling again. Its eyes opened briefly, scanning the room through the glass. Adam lowered the data screen slightly. Whatever this is, he said, it's not random behavior. It's structured adaptation inside a shared environment. The alien doctor finally stepped back. This species classification may need revision, he said quietly. Ethan let out a slow breath. Or maybe we just never looked closely enough before. Kate nodded slightly. Either way, it was always here. We just didn't notice how it works. And in the quiet hum of the station, the gray cat watched them all, as if confirming that it had always understood far more than anyone had assumed. The final days on the station felt different, even though everything around them was still working as normal. Lights still hummed softly through the corridors. Systems still checked themselves every hour. The mineral planet below still turned slowly in silence. But the people on board no longer looked at things the same way. The gray cat had become the center of quiet attention, even when no one admitted it openly. Every movement it made was now noticed, every reaction logged, every pause studied. Yet the cat itself did not seem disturbed by this. It behaved the same way it always had, calm when it wanted, alert when it needed, and distant when nothing interested it. The alien doctor spent most of his time writing his final report. He sat alone in a quiet analysis room, with only soft data screens lighting his face. The report was longer than any he had written before on a single species. Not because the data was difficult, but because the conclusions were unusual. Ethan passed by once and saw him working. Still writing? He asked. The doctor did not look away from the screen. Yes, he said simply. Kate also stopped by later. Is it that complicated? She asked. The doctor paused before answering. It is not complicated, he said. It is unexpected. Inside the report, he described everything they had seen. The strike incident. The behavioral scans. The emotional response mapping. The learning patterns. The selective trust behavior. Each section built toward something that could not be explained in simple terms anymore. He avoided dramatic language. He did not exaggerate. He only recorded what the data showed, and what repeated observation confirmed. By the final day, the conclusion was ready. He called Ethan, Kate, Liam, Sarah, Adam, Jack, Emily, and the others into the main observation room. The gray cat was also present in its enclosure, resting quietly on a soft platform near a warm light. The alien doctor stood in front of the group with his final report displayed. I have completed my analysis, he said. No one spoke. They all waited. He continued, Earth cats are not simple companion animals. Liam crossed his arms slightly. We already knew that. The doctor nodded. Yes. But the full structure was not understood until now. He brought up the final summary screen. Cats on Earth function as subtle symbiotic partners within human civilization, he said. Sarah frowned slightly. Symbiotic partners? The doctor confirmed. Yes. Not in a direct or obvious way. but through long-term behavioral influence. Ethan tilted his head. Influence how? The doctor gestured to the data. They shape human routines, emotional stability, daily patterns, and environmental awareness. Over generations, this influence becomes part of human behavior design. Kate looked at the screen carefully. You're saying they changed us? The doctor replied calmly, not changed. Co-evolved with. A quiet tension filled the room. Adam stepped forward slightly. You mean without anyone noticing? Yes, the doctor said. Jack gave a short breath of disbelief. That's a big claim. The doctor did not react to the doubt. It is supported by behavioral consistency data across multiple time cycles and environments. Emily looked at the cat through the glass. So they're not controlling us, just influencing us? The doctor answered carefully. Influence does not require control. It requires presence and adaptation. The gray cat inside the enclosure shifted slightly. It stretched its body, then curled again, as if none of the conversation required its attention. Kate noticed something then. It doesn't react to this at all, she said quietly. Ethan looked at the cat. Maybe it already knows. No one replied. The doctor finalized his report and transmitted it to the Zelnari Research Network. The message left the station quietly, carried through deep space toward distant systems. After that, preparations for departure began. The station was scheduled for shutdown. The research cycle was complete. The alien doctor would return with the crew that had arrived with him. The Earth team would remain or transfer depending on assignment rotation. On the final day, Ethan walked through the observation wing one last time. Kate followed behind him. The others were busy with shutdown procedures, but they both paused near the cat's enclosure. The gray cat was awake. It looked at Ethan first, then at Kate. It did not move quickly. It did not show stress. It simply observed them as it had always done. Ethan opened the enclosure carefully. Just for a moment, he said quietly. Kate nodded. The cat stepped out slowly. It did not run. It did not hesitate. It walked directly to Ethan and curled itself beside his legs, pressing gently against him as if this was the most natural place to be. Ethan froze slightly, then slowly crouched down and placed a hand near it. The cat accepted the contact without resistance. Kate smiled faintly. Looks like it's decided. Ethan gave a quiet breath. Yeah. The moment felt simple, but also strangely final. Elsewhere, the alien doctor prepared to board the departing ship. His report was already sent. His equipment was packed. The station behind him slowly dimmed as systems entered shutdown mode. Before leaving, he stopped near a viewing window that looked back toward the habitat section. He saw Ethan and Kate standing near the cat. The animal was still curled beside them, relaxed, as if nothing important was ending. The doctor stood there for a long moment. Then he spoke softly, almost to himself. We studied their animals, he said, but failed to notice the civilization they were already shaping. He turned away after that. The ship left the station slowly, pulling away from orbit. The mineral planet below remained silent and unchanged. The station lights faded into distance. And on board the departing vessel, the alien doctor continued to look at his report one last time, understanding that what they had observed was not just a study of Earth life. It was a study of something that had been quietly growing alongside humanity all along, unnoticed because it never needed to announce itself. Back on the station, the gray cat remained curled beside Ethan, as if it had always belonged there, and always would.